Yo, what's up, peeps? What's up, Canadian Gooner family? How we doing? I am shooting this vid a little bit impromptu because I feel like it is late. I had a crazy day today. I was thinking I'd maybe get out a post-match reaction after the Bayern match this morning or yesterday, but yesterday I just didn't feel like it was really worth it to do a post-match reaction, especially when everyone's so emotional. I watched a lot of the post-match stuff. I really got caught up into it, and everyone's complaining about or debating the potential penalty call on Saka, the Kane elbow to Gabriel's throat area, and then there was that other thing that came out about our own Gabriel, handling the ball in our box when on that goal kick, that kind of strange incident that Bayern players and the manager felt should have been a penalty. And I've heard some people say it's a clear penalty. I've heard some people say it's not. I'm not really here to debate penalties, calls, non-calls, because I don't live in the past myself. I live with what happened. I see it as fact, which is what it is. It's fact. It happened. There's no point in getting all caught up emotionally in whether something was a penalty, wasn't a penalty. Sure, in the moment, I was screaming penalty. And I was like, what the fuck? That's a penalty. But ultimately, at the end of the day, how much energy and emotion do you want to put into, a call that was made by a human being or by a few human beings? And just by a lot of the online rhetoric, it sounds like it's pretty actually 50-50 on whether people agree, disagree. And that's not just Arsenal fans. That's also rival fans, unbiased fans, neutrals. Like, everyone just seems to see it 50-50. So at the end of the day, if you want my opinion, it's a fine call. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think it would have been wrong if it was a call to penalty or not. I don't think it's egregious either way. I also didn't think the Kane one was a red card. People say he looked at Gabriel and he's like some super villain who tried to elbow him right in the chops. And I don't think he did, actually. I think he looked at Gabriel, and then he looked over his left shoulder. When he first looked, Gabriel was over his left shoulder. And then to kind of hold him off, he stuck his arm out and he elbowed him in the face. Was it clumsy? Maybe. Was it maybe slightly smart? Maybe, but I don't think he was trying to, hurt him or intentionally elbow him in the chops. Like, listen, I get it. Ex-Tottenham boy, Harry Kane. But I don't think Harry Kane is a person who maliciously wants to hurt other people. I really don't believe it. And I don't think he's really a dirty player. Yeah, he plays on the edge. I think he plays a smart game. I think he knows physically how to use his body to draw fouls, and that can be a little bit annoying to watch sometimes when he kind of goes down. He's a big, strong lad, and the way he goes down sometimes, he'll kind of pull people down with him. But to me, it's all part of the game, and he's playing that game, and we can play that game too. And he's got experience, and he used that yesterday, and I think that was a microcosm of the macrocosm yesterday. For me, we were the better team. Like, in terms of overall, I just felt we always posed more of a threat. To me, when we're playing at our best, I think we beat Bayern 9 times out of 10 at home when we're playing at our best. But yesterday the occasion got to us, and it was experienced versus not as experienced. A younger team who hasn't been there before versus an older team who have been there before, and who, by the way, still have some absolute game breakers on that squad. And Saka scores. We start up. Actually, first 10 minutes or so, Bayern were decent. They were on the ball. They didn't really create anything. Then we started pushing a little bit. Sorry, I just ate some food. And then Saka scored, and looked pretty good there. I was pretty happy. Things were definitely moving in the right direction. And then that Ben White chance, and should he do better? I don't know. He's a right back. it's a tough position to be in. He doesn't find himself in that position in front of goal too often. And it wasn't like he was that close to goal. Like, he still took the shot from, maybe 10, 12 yards out. Should he score? Maybe. But he doesn't. The 2 goals, what happened next was totally our doing. We showed our inexperience in those 2 goals. First, Raya, don't know what he was doing. Well, I do. We were a little too excited at times. We didn't play. See, in the league, we've like the kind of that been there, done that mentality and aura about us, and we don't let occasions get too big for us. We stick to the game plan. We remain calm. We remain patient. We don't get too excited. Don't push too many men forward. Raya doesn't come out. We don't really have too many miscommunications. We're on the same page. And what happened for the first goal, I won't get too deeply into it. And the second goal was basically kind of the opposite of that. It was kind of flashback to the old Arsenal, but not really. Just a flashback maybe even to last season, towards the end of the season when we started falling apart. And it was just a lot of like individual errors, if I remember correctly, and kind of like just young, inexperienced errors. You got to think, like, now these guys last year in the league was a big learning experience, especially at the end. When the pressure turned up, we kind of fell off. And it's to be expected. We just don't have players who've been there before. It's like life. You learn lessons by fucking up. You learn lessons by failing. You learn lessons by jumping into the deep end and sometimes sinking a little bit and needing your dad to come in and pull you out of the water so you don't drown, And the Champions League is no different. Just because we have that experience now in the Premier League doesn't mean it carries over the Champions League. That's a completely different ball game. It's just a different game. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different feel. It's different pressure. It's a whole different thing, and we're learning. And we learned some lessons yesterday. In fact, I would say we learned them pretty quick. I was really impressed with the response. Going 2-1 down, I always remain positive. I always do. And, I predicted a 3-0 win to Arsenal. And after we tied 1-1, I said, all right, it's going to be 3-1. And then we went down 2-1. I said, all right, it's going to be 4-2. Excuse me. Got some stuff, some heartburn. Not heartburn, just kind of burps coming up. And so, what was my train of thought there? Yeah, so, we learned our lessons quick. Oh, yeah, and going down 2-1. Also, what could have happened, which is what happened in the past against Bayern, is we completely fall apart at that point. In the tie, yes, it's not an ideal place at 2-1. You're losing 2-1 at home in the first half of the first leg, but it's still salvageable. It's far from over. And Arsenal teams from the past, and Arsenal teams that maybe didn't learn from their mistakes as quickly as this team seems to, would have completely fallen apart, might have lost 3-1, 4-1, then it's over. Even going back to Bayern 2-1, I felt, it's not ideal, but we can still do it. But we came out in the second half. We were more patient. We weren't pushing all of our men forward, looking for that second goal and leaving ourselves exposed in the counterattack. I was questioning Arteta's sub, taking Kivior off. I didn't question because he looked to be struggling on that left-hand side against Sané's speed. But I did question who he brought on. I would have thought Tomiyasu would have came on with his defensive capabilities and his speed, and he brought on Zinchenko, and I thought, well, this could be even worse than Kivior playing left back, especially defensively. He obviously brought him on for his ball playing and ball retention abilities, and it worked out. And in fact, he looks pretty good defensively. Now, do I think he should play at the Allianz? No. He's still. I don't feel fully confident with him defensively, especially against that Bayern team with some of the speed and the quickness they have up top and the deadliness, as we saw in a couple of their counters. But he put in a shift. Kudos to him. Kudos to Zinchenko, man. I've been hard on him the past few games, but came in and put in a shift. And then our other two impact subs, Gabby Jesus and Trossard, two more experienced heads. Yeah, Trossard hasn't been there, but Jesus has been there. And you could tell, he didn't panic on that goal. He, did the one little fake shot cut inside, the second little fake shot cut inside, beat two men. And instead of just blindly shooting or getting a little overexcited and taking a shot, he saw Trossard in a better position, laid it off perfectly to him, who hit it one time right in the bottom corner. He did what he does. That's Trossard, the super sub. I think he has 6 goals now off the bench, and he's only come on off the bench. It was either 13 times this season or 16. But that's really impressive when you think about it, because bench appearances are short. So say those average out to like 20 minutes per appearance, 25 minutes per appearance. That's like maybe 5 or 6 full games, right? Full matches. And he's got 6 goals in those appearances. So very impressive, very impressive. And we were pushing a little bit for that last goal. Still, it was. I think we still showed at times too, though, that we played the occasion. As I heard a couple of Arsenal fans and Arsenal fan channels talk about AFTV. I agree. We played to the occasion. Saliba and Gabriel didn't have their best games. Gabriel had his worst game in a long time. But just moments, though. Overall, they still held Harry Kane to no chances. He scored a goal, but it was a penalty. He didn't have any looks in the box. He did do tremendously well. He's an incredible striker. I think the best in the world, or the best that I've seen out of any striker that I've watched this year. Being able to take a ball in, basically the word I want to use is suck a ball in. That's basically what he does. They kick it kind of long to him, and they're looking to relieve pressure. Maybe if we've mounted a bit of pressure, Kane, you can just kick the ball up to him, and he's got this wide. He's not the huge dude, right? He's not as big as Haaland, but he's very wide, and you just can't seem to move him. And he's got this incredible ability to just hold off a defender, take a great touch, take the ball down, and either draw a foul or turn and then play a ball in behind our defense to one of their fast wingers, the rapid wingers, and shape a ball so beautifully. He's just so incredible at some of those balls he was playing yesterday. Were just incredible. I was so impressed. What a player he is. What a player. I'd love to have him at Arsenal, not gonna lie. Even he's an ex-Tottenham player, I would love to have him at Arsenal. He's an incredible, incredible, incredible player. When you take off the Arsenal lens, he is an incredible player. But we didn't give him any chances in the box. So, listen, I think, no, not an ideal score. I think we beat that team 9 times out of 10, like I said, when we're playing our best and we're more patient and we're not erratic. But we had to learn those lessons, and we learned. And maybe we go to the Allianz and maybe we have to learn more lessons. Maybe not. Maybe we've learned enough. I don't know. I'm confident. I'm still keeping an optimistic point of view. I still think we're going to go in. It's not going to be as easy as I thought it was originally going to be. If we did get a 2 or 3-0 home tie win, I think that second leg would be easy. But also maybe it would make it hard, Maybe that adds extra pressure. Maybe just having it be 2-2 going to the Allianz, we know now, okay, you know what? City match. Liverpool match away. City match away. We went to those places and we clamped down. We had opportunities to win both of those matches as well. We could have won the City one. We had opportunities. We had 1 or 2 in particular. And I think that's going to be the game plan. And at the Allianz is lock them down. That's our strongest trait. Play to our strengths. Our defense, our team defense, that shape, and then our patience. And we just wait for the right moment to counter. And when we do, take advantage of those chances. That's our best bet. And I think that's what we're comfortable doing right now. And I think that's what we will do. I don't think we're going to go and try and blitz them. I don't think we're going to go and try and take the game to them too much. I think we're just going to, and there's no shame in this. We're going to play that mid block, low block, and just soak up a little bit of pressure, remain confident in our back line. We got big, strong, athletic guys back there. I'm confident they'll bounce back. Gabriel and Saliba, I think they learned the lessons they needed to learn. Ben White was good. I don't think it's I don't look at Ben White and go, oh yeah, he had a bunch of lessons he needed to learn. Ben White's got to Was his best game? No, but it certainly wasn't anywhere near his worst. And we go to the Allianz, and we're so still in this. And in fact, when you think about the storyline, would you rather? I know living through it, especially if you're a fan who allows yourself to get really caught up in the emotions and the stress, and I'm not saying I don't sometimes still. I do a lot less than I used to. Yesterday I was certainly feeling it, I was feeling the occasion. I hadn't watched a Champions League game that big in 15 years, So I was feeling the occasion. So I can only imagine the players. But would you rather win 3-4-0 and go to Bayern, go to the Allianz, and just, it's kind of boring. Cool, then we just draw 0-0, or lose 1-0, or 1-0. It's like, okay, that was a tie. Wasn't that exciting? Where do you want the excitement? Look at the Man City Real Madrid match yesterday. 3-3. What? That's excitement. I haven't watched the highlights of the matches today, but 3-2 and 2-1. This is the Champions League, guys. That's what happens. This is just what happens in the Champions League. So let's embrace it. Let's go have fun. I would much rather beat Bayern I would much rather have to beat Bayern at the Allianz to win the tie than do it at home. That is a much better storyline for me. That is much more fulfilling. After making the mistakes, after, what ifs, the could have beens, etc., putting that behind us and going to the Allianz and winning that match. It's a cool story. That's a much cooler story for me, and much more memorable one, and one that would create a lot more happy emotions, and emotions of ecstasy and bliss. And I'm happy anyway, but yeah, it's fun to have an excuse to feel those things even more sometimes. I'll give my quick ratings of yesterday's match as well. It's coming in kind of late. I know all the other Arsenal guys get their stuff out right away, but part of me understands that, and part of me also realizes, part of me is also a lot of that is knee-jerk reaction. I feel much differently tonight than I did last night about the match. And just because I didn't think about it all day today. I had total other stuff going on in my world. I had a very fun day. Some really cool things happened. I met a really cool person, and we just had some fun. And then I came back to it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I haven't done this yet. And it's like, oh, yeah, when I think about that match, I have a much different point of view on it. It's much more positive and optimistic. So, yeah, maybe I'll start just leaving these a little later. And that might not appeal to everyone, because I know everyone's like, I want to hear the reaction right away. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I do that too. And, I want to do it less, because I realize it's better just to tune out of that stuff after the match, and then come back later with a more level head. I know that those of you who are watching this, and those of you who will continue watching this channel as we grow up to 300,000 subscribers, are the ones who will want to hear this kind of analysis as well. And I'm not saying you won't hear some emotional stuff from me either, but today this felt right. So in terms of player ratings, Raya. See, this is why I'm glad it's happening a day later than yesterday. Yesterday I would have been 3, 4, Today I'm like, okay, it's not much higher, but it's a 5. That mistake was not good. And the penalty, Kane really didn't make him look too good, but also Harry Kane, and he's incredible. And I think he would have made most keepers in the world look like Raya. Otherwise, he's fine. So, just because of that mistake, it's 5. If it wasn't for the mistake, I'd give him maybe a 7, because he was fine. Goals weren't his fault in terms of the shots. Right back, Benny Blanco. Yeah, I'll give him a 7. Great assist for Saka's goal. I don't think... Yeah, Serge Gnabry didn't really give him any trouble. Serge Gnabry scored, but it didn't come from that side. It came from that mistake, and that wasn't Benny's fault. So 7, yeah, he could have scored that goal. Maybe should have done better, but he's a right back. And if he did score that goal, maybe he gets a 9. So, I think 7 is fair. Saliba, 6. Wasn't the smartest tackle in the box on Sané to give away the penalty, especially considering Ben White was going to get there anyway and get the ball off him. And I don't think Sané would have even gotten a shot off. But otherwise, I thought he did well a couple times to run away from pressure with the ball. He was calm. won some headers. Otherwise, I think he did his job. Gabriel, there's a few shaky moments, especially that first half. For me, I'll give Gabriel a 5. Yeah, 5. The first goal was kind of his fault. More Raya's fault, in my opinion. Kind of Raya set off was the first domino to fall. But then, as a leader in our team and as one of the more senior players now, Gabriel, you see your keeper come out like that. He still had the ball. Just take care of business. So, it could have been booting it up the field. Could have been kicking it out of bounds. Could have just been giving a better pass to Kivior. Like, it wasn't like he was under crazy amounts of pressure, and it wasn't that hard. I've seen him make that pass so many times. I'll give him a 5. And I think he had a couple other shaky moments. But overall, Kane still didn't really have a sniff. And I guess, he had... did he have some chances off corners, or am I mistaken? No, I'm thinking back to the Brighton game. I got some pictures of the Brighton game come up in my head. Okay, left back. Kivior, he had a rough go. He had a tough go. But what do you expect against Sané? It's a center back. I'll give him a 5. Zinchenko, I'll give a 7. I thought Zinchenko was really good when he came on and covered for Kivior in the second half. I thought he brought some good stuff to our match, and I was especially impressed with his defensive work a couple times. I saw Sané coming in one-on-one on him, and I was like, oh, no. But he did really well. Really, really, really well. Okay, Jorginho, 6. I mean, yeah, he came off. Maybe he wasn't the most influential, but he's also got limitations, He's not the most athletic. Thought he was fine on the ball. I thought he was in position defensively more than not. He seemed like a leader out there, so I'd give him a 6. Wasn't his best. Definitely wasn't a terrible match by any means. Rice is 6 as well. Wasn't his best. Wasn't his worst. I didn't see him a whole lot. He was on the ball quite a bit. Wasn't his best. Wasn't his worst. Odegaard. I thought Odegaard was maybe our best player. The player that was out there really being the most industrious offensively. Him and Saka were the two that I was impressed with. Didn't really create anything in terms of final product, so I'll give him I don't know, something about him, I think there was leadership there from him. In that second half, after giving up that second goal, we needed some players. Some of those players really brought us back into focus, into a place of focus, and he was one of them. And so for that, I'm going to give him an 8. Some people may think that's crazy, but I know how important those players are, and sometimes it's just a feel thing with him. You just see him, and he's so competitive, and he was trying to get on the ball. He was trying to make things happen, and I just think he was one of the more brave. No, not brave. Just one of the players who didn't play up to the occasion so much, and just played. Right wing Saka, 8. Great goal. And bright, lively throughout the match. And I know he's still playing injured. I saw him limping a couple times. And I was really impressed he beat Davies a couple times. A couple times he pushed the ball past Davies, and I go, why are you doing that? Davies is one of the fastest players in the world. And Saka beat him to it. And it was a combination of those first few strides, Saka's got a quick first few steps, but also he's very strong. So I noticed Davies would kind of keep up with him, and I go, but Davies is going to get to this ball. But somehow Saka would come up with it, and you realize Saka's just very strong. And Davies was kind of bouncing off him. Saka's got that low, strong center of gravity. And he made things happen. He was trying as well. The penalty decision, I'm not going to get into it. I thought in real time, man, just shoot it. Just shoot it around Neuer. But thinking back, Neuer's coming out at you that speed. He really closes down the angle. He's so big. I can see why Saka tried to go around him. I don't think Saka dove, by the way. People are saying he dove. He didn't dive. He hit the ball around him and then tried to jump out of the way. They're running at full speed, 100 miles an hour, end of the game. Norris coming out. He's coming out. They clattered into each other. His leg, I don't think, was in an unnatural position. I think it was kind of awkward, and he was probably tired, and it just clattered. I don't think you got absolutely clattered. There was no dive in it. I don't think he's really looking for contact either. Maybe there's a little bit of that, actually. Maybe there was. But regardless, Saka showing off the big stage. Great goal, great finish. 8. Kai Havertz. 7? Yeah, 7. Typical Kai performance, I think. I don't think there's much more to say. Left wing Martinelli. He's struggling, isn't he? Just doesn't have it. He's just not sharp right now. It's not his. I don't think he's to blame, or I don't think that's a surprise. He was out for a while. That's what happens. So yeah, I'm thinking a 5 for Martinelli. Just nothing happened. It wasn't happening at all for him. I hope he can find some sharpness soon, match fitness, because I think he could have a big role to play next week, even in the match against Bayern. But right now, to me, it's clear that we might have 2 better options on the left wing than Martinelli, which is Trossard and Gabriel Jesus, and that's great. That's promising. That's great that we have those options. Yes, I'd like Martinelli to be Martinelli, but right now he's clearly not. Maybe he still is feeling that cut. I don't know. Maybe it's just a little bit of sharpness and fitness and confidence that he seems low on confidence to me. I think that's probably the biggest thing. I don't think he seems slow or anything, or too hampered by any injury. I think it's just a confidence thing with him. And that's okay. He's a young player. He's going to go through that at times. Okay, the subs and the other subs now. Trossard, Jesus, I'm giving them both an 8 because they just played big roles in bringing energy to the team. They brought experience. They brought grit. The occasion wasn't too big for either of them. And Jesus, I'm not surprised. Trossard, I'm just so impressed with. The guy's never been in that position in a game like that in the Champions League. But he came in and played really well. And what a finish. Easy. Coolly slots it into the corner. That's a great finish. And I love the celebration. It's the most emotion I've seen come out of him after scoring a goal. That shows that was a big goal for the players. They knew that was a big goal. I knew it was a big goal. Yeah, I was hoping we'd get another goal after that. We kick on and get another goal. But just that goal alone. Going back to the Allianz 2-2 is so much different than going back to the Allianz down 2-1. So 8 for both of them. Just for the spark, the energy, the passion, the experience. I think they just brought a lot of that. And I wouldn't be surprised to see one, if not both of them, start next week. And Thomas Partey, he didn't look too good. I'll give him a 5. He didn't look too good. I don't know, it's hard to say because interesting with Partey because the first couple of matches he came back, first couple cameos were kind of like yesterday. Like, oh, whoa, he's looking slow. He's looking like overweight. I don't think he looks like at least bigger than he was. And where is he passing some of these balls to? Like, these are easy balls, and he's just either way hitting them like off the ground, or just his aimer's way off. But then that match against City, he came on and looked fantastic. And then the next match when he started the next week against Luton Town, I thought he looked really good. Maybe not the old Thomas, but coming back to it. And yesterday, again, it was like, whoa, who is this player I'm watching, So we'll see. Hopefully he can find some confidence and some more fitness and sharpness as well. And a little bit of that first step quickness would be nice to see a little bit more of that too. But he's older now. He's 30, and he's had a lot of lower body injuries. So, at some point the body does break down. Yeah, those are all the players that came on, right? Yeah, all the players that came on. So overall, guys, hey, smile, life's good. We have another big match coming up this weekend against Villa, and then again back to the Allianz to play the second leg. And like I said, I'm not gonna shy away from predicting a win. I think we go ahead and we win 2-1. And do we do it in regular time or extra time or shootout? I don't think it's going to a shootout. I think we do it in extra time. 2-1 extra time. Arsenal at the Allianz next week. That's what I'm feeling right now. I'm not going to shy away from predictions still, even though I was way off with my one yesterday. Still manifesting that victory. Yeah, either way, it's a great growth experience, great learning experience for this team. We're going to be in these competitions for years to come, guys, so just get used to this. Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. It's a lot of fun. We haven't been here in a while. Okay, please like, subscribe, comment, share, turn on the notifications. I absolutely love you guys, and I will see you on the next one.